Alright, we're headed to the Tower of Babil, which is one of the worst parts of the game. Is it worse than the Lodestone Cavern? I don't know. It's pretty awful, though. It's pretty hard, too. I did break, unfortunately, my scissors stand for my microphone, so it's currently on my desk. There might be some jank because of that. If you detect any jank, please let me know. Every part of this game is the worst part of the game. No, I broke it doing testing with the cooking stream this morning. Should show some paper instead of rock. It's a super cheap stand. It's like, I don't know, $12, so I just bought 2 more of them just to have a backup in case it ever happens again. I was trying to get it set up outside, just to kind of limit the effect of vibrations, like walking around on the deck, getting picked up by the microphone. Game audio's loud. Should be better. What are the less worst parts of the game? You know, I think every dungeon is awful. I love this game, and I'm just going to complain about every single part as we get to it. I really like the boss fights in Final Fantasy IV. In particular in this remake, they've added a lot to them, I feel like. Make them more challenging. Yeah, the soundtrack's definitely the best part. That's 100% for sure. Started the game over to get dual cast. Yeah, I'm pretty bummed about dual cast. Especially like to have it on Rosa for healing, raising, removing status effects. Yuck. I'm sad about getting rid of Bard's Song because Haste March would be really fantastic, but I think I have to. Actually, I think I'm going to pop a tent here. Yep. Oh, and it's very easy to miss getting dual cast. Basically, you have to have found every single augment that's available before going to Mount Ordeal. And you have to give, was it like 3 augments or more to Palom and Porom, and that'll be what gets you dual cast. You get it really early, too. Yeah, I get where they were going with it, I guess. I think it was like, oh, people have played Final Fantasy IV a bajillion times. Let's do something for the people that like to play the game like 3 or 4 times in a row. Since they made I don't think they balanced the game around having augments, but the game's already pretty hard, so I think having something like dual cast would make it a lot more reasonable in a lot of cases. Thank you, dwarf tank buddies. Good looking out. Finally, I have party members that have a like reasonable amount of MP. It was hard to really use Tella effectively, given that he kept running out of MP after like 2 or 3 battles. I think Yang's all hooked up with his necessary augments, so that's good. I think there probably is a way, like, I don't know, if you're going to do permanent missables, if you're going to introduce missables to a game that didn't really have them, especially of that level of significance, I think probably the right thing to do is to add some sort of endgame area where you're able to purchase the augments that you missed with Gil or work for them through some other means. I think that's probably the lowest effort missable solution, is to add like a an auction house where stuff that you missed gets sold. So maybe you miss out on getting it early in the game, but I'm not super worried about having dual cast now. I'm worried about having dual cast in the final dungeon, which is like brutally hard. I don't think the final dungeon of FF4 is as hard as the final dungeon of 3, but it's probably second in the series. Oh yeah, you should totally grab Tacoma. That game was rad. It's the perfect game to play if it's free. I paid full price for it, and I don't regret it. I thought it was worth 15 bucks or whatever for 3 hours of gameplay. Really, really solid story, though. Same folks that made Gone Home, I think. And Rydia just gets her ass kicked, which is too bad because I'm guessing these enemies are not resilient to, oh god. Fuck these things. Be a really lucky kick. Nope, we're dead. Well, welcome to the Tower of Babil. Yikes. Alright, let's try that again. If we run into one of those groups, we have to cast Blizzaga on everything, like, immediately. No fucking around. Good god. Making sure no one has gear that I can equip. Yeah, right? Seems like a good suggestion. Very tricky, like, enemies having AoE abilities is really, really strong in these sorts of games. Especially if their damage is comparable to a single target attack. Don't give it away, Serp. Jeez. Little booty butts. Butthead. Meanie face. I think that I would like Final Fantasy IV 1,000,000 times more if it had a Bravely Default system where I could turn encounters off or speed them up for certain sequences. I think it's mostly the encounter rate and getting in the way of your exploration. They toned it down quite a bit in 5, and then 6 I think is perfect. It's the best possible balance of encounter rate in a 2D exploration JRPG. And the only thing better than that is to go Chrono Trigger where the encounters are on the map. And I'm kind of bummed that Octopath Traveler didn't keep the encounter idea. It's such a perfect solution. It doesn't seem like that should just be a Bravely Default thing. Like, any modern RPG should probably have some kind of fast-forward mechanic built in. Tacitly admit that JRPGs are kind of boring. Players, once they kind of get the idea of, oh, those are cool animations, alright, let me fast-forward through this, I get it. Battle's still pretty fast in Octopath. I didn't feel like the encounter rate was over the top or frustrating. The fights are pretty cool. You gotta get out of Blizzara before Rydia dies. Otherwise it's GG. Provided that doesn't one-shot her. Alright, she can eat one, and maybe only one Scorch. That's possible too, Yukiko. Oh, wow. Alright, Blizzaga is not enough damage, it turns out. Shit. Well, I might die again. Let's see if Kira gets off. I think I need Blizzaga. I don't know if I'm expected to have it by this area. Ow. could maybe get Shiva off. That might be enough to do it. Good job, Cecil. I think we are going to go for the build where we make him super tanky, give him reach, put him in the back row, and have him be using cover all the time with counter. So it seems like a lot of your success in this dungeon is with these enemies is whether or not all three of them chain Scorch back to back. If they do, you're fucked. About 3,000 HP. Thanks, Spiky. We actively don't want to confuse these guys. I guess it means they're not attacking party members, but... Oh, Cecil gets raised in this one. I don't know if he did in the original version of the game. I think I have a shitload of Phoenix down, so I should be okay on that front. It's confused because of Yang's, one of his claws inflicts confuse, which is pretty great. So it's attacking itself from confuse, but because it deals fire damage with its physical attack, its attack heals itself. It's kind of an interesting interaction. Alright, so I need to at least keep Redia topped off after every battle, or we're gonna have a bad time. Most things will one-shot her if she's not totally topped off. I think once I finish... Oh, God. Alright, guys. Spot the missing pixel. Do you think it's in the middle on the way to the next room? That might be great. I'm gonna pop outside and tent and save after we wrap up this one. Oh, God. And it's a back attack. Alright, Meridia's dead. Oh, shit. Yeah. If they do it twice, it's just GG. I might be able to run away in time, I guess we'll see. You're hoping that they do a physical attack. Whew. Gee willikers, you dropped Gil when you ran away. He deserves a raise. And that's like all of his MP. You do, Nodovan? I think you come back to the Tower of Babil a couple times. Babil. Like a Shimigami Tensei encounter. If you get back attacked, it's just game over. Sorry. Sucks to be you. Try not to get hit next time. See if I can give Rosa different arrows. Silence arrows aren't super great. Nope, that's just how the DS version works. I forget, have you played any version out of it other than the Super Nintendo Final Fantasy II? Our version of the game was, they call it Final Fantasy Easy Type in Japan. It's much less challenging. Yeah. No, in the tower I am running into a group of enemies that open the encounter with a Scorch ability that hits everyone in the party for like 600, 700 damage. And sometimes I'll fight 3 of them at once and they'll use them back to back and it's game over. I basically have to run away as soon as I see them. Maybe did like a translated emulator version. Sure. Alright, and now I officially have enough MP that tents are no longer a full MP heal. Because I can use multiple. How many tents do I have? I should check this before I... 22? Should get me through the dungeon. Famous last words. Five Antarctic winds. Okay. Those cast Blizzaga, I could maybe use them on the Scorcher assholes. Oh man, I'm getting my ass kicked over here, Aki. Just regular Blizzard? I guess you need item lore to make it not suck. Green Beret. Historically in Final Fantasy gives you like a attack boost. Yeah. Kinda sucks for his defense though. No, it's not that big of a debuff. I also wanted to fix Rose's arrows. How many of these does she have? Oh, just one more. Ugh, consumable ammo, man. I am not the biggest fan. Cecil solo mandatory fights only. Yikes. Let's just run as soon as we get this fight. I never run in JRPGs, but like, not much of an alternative against those assholes. The chance of a game over is really high. Using frame skip, sure. I haven't run from any battles in the game, so I shouldn't be under-leveled this again. The sheer amount of things that sound ridiculous when you put them outside of video context. I like doing that, just explanation of what's happening. Especially for games like Shadow Hearts. This is what we did during the session list. There are games that punish you for a number of times you run. That's what freaks me out, Yukubo. FF5 tracks it. That was actually, I think I've told this story before, but that was the first game where it told me it was tracking the number of times I ran away, and I was like, oh my god, I can never do this. And so I never did. Ever, ever, ever. So, young Marstead is cringing in horror every time I do this, but it's better than dying to those guys. Skies of Arcadia dings your pirate rating. Cool. How did FF2 reward you for it? I haven't played FF2 in a really long time. Played it once on Dawn of Souls, and that was it. Ugh. Leveled up your running away ability. Increases every turn? So it eventually... You can never escape turn 1. I hate running away in Dragon Quest games. Sometimes you really need to. And it's like... running away might be one of the best advantages of the ATB system, because you can be queuing actions while you're trying to hold down runaway. But in a game like Dragon Quest, there's an opportunity cost to attempting to run. Like, If you fail, that's damage you didn't do that turn, and you might end up having to do to get out of the fight. Uh-oh. Oh, I'm dead, aren't I? Okay, never mind. This might still not end well. Let's see. Yeah, losing a turn trying to run is one of the worst phenomenons in gaming. And I like Dragon Quest a lot, but it does a lot of things like that. 50% chance for Resurrect to fail. Lazy Endless Nova use an improved version of FF2 setup mechanic. Higher chance of characters gaining speed stats to running away. That's interesting. I do want the main series to try doing that again, you know? Take another stab at FF2's level up mechanic. There's ice elemental, which will help me with those assholes. But it's downgrade. I'll try it. The encounter rate in Etrian Odyssey is lower than average rate. It's still a pretty young. Still a pretty young industry. But it's definitely getting better. Yeah. Of course, first enemy we run into is Ice Elemental. Fucking figures. I played Etrian Odyssey 4. Fuck. Absorbs Holy Magic as well. Oops. Probably doesn't absorb Bio. I don't think Bio is elemental. Oh, okay, that wasn't so bad. I don't know if you get any benefit for killing it while it's in the egg. What's cool about Etrian Odyssey's encounter system, Plaster? There's no such thing as off-topic during most of Final Fantasy IV. This game is pretty heavy on the dungeon delving random battles, so feel free to talk about anything at all. I think I'll leave what they've got currently. Oh, these multiple doors stress me out, man. The game can assign a different danger value for each tile. Once your danger value reaches a certain value, you get an encounter. Yeah, I kind of like that. I think random battles are improved if the game... what's the word? Is able to project when your next encounter will be. It doesn't actually give you any more control, but it kind of feels like it does. I wonder if I can get away with focusing twice and one-shotting this thing. Lots of random conversation in JRPG streams, yeah. I don't have to be completely focused on the game for the high chat interaction. There's no stealing at all in this game, isn't there? Maybe with an augment? There's what's the word? He can only jump if he has a spear equipped, right? There's design space, Plaster. Right. Oh, that's right, Edge has steel. Does every enemy in the game have a steel value? Or only enemies that are conceivably fightable after getting edge? It seems crazy. You get edge really late in this game. And there's a lot of zones you can go back to. Maybe they just have a chance to steal the item that they drop. They didn't have to do a bunch of database work on that. Spiritual artifact. They have a second drop slot. They have a steal. Okay. And the steal is the second drop slot? So they didn't have to do extra work for it. Gotcha. No, I really need a save point. Cat claws. Meow. Doesn't look like it has any special effects, it's just damage. Too bad. Turn your dungeons mostly into hallways. Right. Absorb ice. Oh, so the thing I just did was stupid. Oh, maybe not. Oh, you know, I bet it's whatever's in the egg is what the egg's stat is. Wait, what? Oh, that's right. No, it still does absorb ice. Okay. I just got confused because Cecil, I switched him back to his axe. Hey, bio. Very nice. 0 XP if I don't let it hatch. I can just wait, do nothing. I'm still worried about randomly running into 3 Scorchers and dying. I check each of these doors in case there's a chest or save room. Nope, that looks like progress. Does the EO series change significantly from entry to entry? Kind of seems, it reminds me of Monster Hunter from what little I've seen of it, that it's like, oh, we got an idea, it works. Let's add some little things here and here. I also think Final Fantasy is kind of an outlier in how different each entry is. Usually. Her whip damage is pretty good. Variety of classes turns everything on its head. Sure. I think that I love Final Fantasy, but I think it might even innovate too much. It's like the opposite of Dragon Quest. Sometimes it won't explore a really good idea. Like the draw system, or FF2's leveling style. Background math changes pretty wildly. Yeah, right. Draw system's first implementation was not great. Had a lot of perverse incentives, issues like that. Well, let's see. So, Final Fantasy 1 is you pick 4 characters with jobs, any combination you like, and those jobs are locked in forever. It's a pretty significant change in the way the game is approached. Final Fantasy 2, leveling up occurs as you use abilities. 3 introduces the job system. 4 goes to having a fixed party with fixed jobs. Rotate out at certain points in the story. 5 is a new version of the job system. 6 is your ensemble cast, where you're having to use sometimes 2 or even 3 parties of people. 7's materia system is pretty different. 7's the first game where all the characters are basically carbon copies of each other. They have generally the same capabilities. And I guess 6 starts to experiment with that idea with espers, but it's not till 7 that your party choice is almost irrelevant. 8's draw system is pretty weird. 9's pretty classic. It's more like FF4, but with Like a mix of FF4 and FF6. Esper learning is a precursor to materia. Yeah. You're right that, like, the core gameplay loop of get into battles, and then there's ATB, enemies on the left side, players on the right, is pretty similar. But I think that it's more different between entries than something like Dragon Quest. Yeah, and that's actually a really good point, Aki. I think that the urge to draw everything and max out the first time you see it, it's one of those, like... We were talking yesterday during Peace Walker that, think about... There's a finite, although near infinite, but finite number of possible game mechanics that you could ever include in any game ever. And that list is constrained by game mechanics that are unfun. It's difficult to know if a mechanic's going to be unfun until you actually release the game and see what people do with it. I'm going to, in an abundance of caution here, I'm going to cast Exit and use a tent and save outside, because we've been in here for 30 minutes, and I've had the Vision of the Monado. Are you fucking kidding me? Can I not use it in here? What's the point if I can't use it in, like, the majority of dungeons? Jesus. Well, at this point... it might be safer to try to push on to the next save point. Hey, thanks, Eternus.
You're super awesome.
Thanks. Appreciate that. Yeah, no, I'm the same. MP's hard to restore. Okay, that wasn't so bad. I was worried about that being a huge split there. Very good. Have a nice day. Good seeing you. I'm increasingly thinking that the right solution to MP is to allow you to regenerate it automatically and easily, either after every battle, which means you have to kind of balance your entire game around that, or do the Hollow Knight thing and MP comes back whenever you attack. Just a feature of every character. I'm increasingly feeling like macro level encounter to encounter, dungeon resource management is not really that interesting. Like, it doesn't create a lot of fun gameplay moments. It's maintenance. It's work. Did you remember to remove everybody's status effects after the battle, and did you top everybody off? Like, I'm trying to think of a game that has status effects and persist outside of battle and needing to heal outside of combat and all that stuff that's actually really interesting. I need to look. This is right. This is the vision I had of death. Oh, awesome, Eternus. I'd love to talk more about Nier. I have a lot to say about that game. I talked some in the Discord spoilers channel. I might do a review not connected to any kind of, like, donation goal if I get some time. You don't know how long a dungeon is until you finish it. It's a really good point. Hey, save point hype. Could do some stuff to get Zach. Uh-huh. That's funny. I remember those Uncle Works at Squaresoft rumors. There was that one. There was you could play as Zelda in Ocarina of Time. I'm sure I actually saved ProZD video. There was you could play as Luigi in Mario RPG. Mew Under the Truck, obviously, one of the most famous ones. Right. Luigi and Mario 64 also. Yeah, I think so, Eternus. I think the game works as a, if you look at it holistically, without spoiling anything for Nier for people who haven't played it, but it could have had value standalone in the early parts of the game, and then had improved value after a full playthrough. But instead it seems like it's missing something until you complete the full playthrough, and then like, aha, I get it. There's a lot of ice enemies in here for all the ice gear they give you. It's kind of rude, actually. How dare they? Watch the box go back and forth on the deck of the ship 64 times. I remember really buying into that shit, too. So I haven't played 13. When we do 13 on stream, it's going to be almost blind. And I guess I played an hour at the beginning of it and got really turned off by the way the story was being presented. Phoenix down, Rosa. But that's the principle in the late game of 13. You control the flow of the battle. Do the characters like auto attack or something? Ice gear. Your main input is changing character classes during battle. That's pretty cool. Neat concept. That's what the whole paradigm shift thing is. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm really excited to play 13 on stream. 13 and 8. I had a pretty negative opinion of 8. And even just the 4 hours we played on stream so far for its bonus stream have been enlightening. We talk about with people who really like it. Oh, that's really weird. Control the party leader directly, everyone else is like Gambit's 12 mandatory. It's really weird. But it's still like turn-based or ATB? And it still has random battles, right? That's fucking bizarre. That's what 15 is like, right? I'm a little congested, I'm gonna try to figure out some stuff in my notes. 1 second. Sorry. Connect battle screen. Let me see. Hey, Puppeteer. Really need your heal radio. Bad news bears. Now, is Berserk gonna get me in trouble, or might not actually be a terribly bad thing? So we'll see. If you're still around Eternus, I guess the way I'd summarize it is that, like, if Nier was a little bit more edited and did a few things a little differently, it would probably be in my, like, top 10 games of all time, top 10 gaming experiences of all time. Especially the gimmick after the E ending is, like, one of the coolest things I've ever seen in a game, ever. It was super fucking good. But it felt like they blew one of the coolest ideas I've ever seen in video games on a mini-game. It was really funny. And maybe that's the point. You could see Yoko Taro doing that. Well, I'll start thinking about if I can get some time to do a review video like some of the other ones we've published. I think the game warrants it. I will type it in spoilers general real quick, 610. 1 sec while I wait for this egg to hatch. Alright, I'm done typing that in Discord if you wanted to see what I was saying. Follow Nier, don't care about Nier. Spoilers General is the channel. Oh no, I missed a pixel. Oh wait, I think I see it, bottom right. Maybe. You said automata is better, right? I googled it after the fact. Automata is a legal pronunciation. They said automata at the end. I'm like, I heard anyone say that. It's weird. Plays better. You know, I might even be more forgiving to the original Nier. I kind of was hard on it because I had this very much, you guys could do better. Come on. Illusory depth problem. Sorry, one second. Sirens. Is it correct to try to one-shot them rather than letting them summon? Base armor. Although I guess him having the fire armor is what's keeping him from getting thoroughly wrecked by the Scorcher enemies. So maybe I want to give that to Kane instead. Just to have a hedge against wiping. Oh, do they repeatedly summon stuff? God, there's so many exits from this floor. Thank God for the map system in this game. I guess it doesn't even reveal treasure rooms, so you can't be 100% sure. One-shotting them is generally correct. Okay. Thank you. Ow, ow, ow. I feel like enemies really try to attack your mages in this game. Ow, Jesus. He's hit pretty hard. Wondering if I should back out and go ahead and resurrect Redia. They have a lot of hit points too. That counter is really great. I especially see it getting better when you have draw attacks and reach on. I might equip those now. There's really no reason to save those if I'm going to use them on Cecil anyway, right? Yeah. And draw attacks is 100% effective. Like, they will always attack if they can do a single target attack. That seems really buff to just give you as a passive. I'm glad it's a passive and not an active ability. I feel like I should, even if the damage is less, I should give him the claws that inflict confuse. Does it not explore the design space with it terribly much, Matt? That can be part of the problem. It's like, oh, that's a cool idea, and then the game just like, well, we'll just do that over and over for the rest of the game. Even like Final Fantasy X is a pretty simple initiative system, but later abilities interact more interestingly with it. Like Quick Hit. Precision defends an enemy rows of a big attack. Oh. Yeah, it's kind of boring, isn't it? Draw attacks. Cecil. Yes. And then reach Cecil. Let's see what I'm actually allowed to equip with him. I don't think I can do all of those, can I? Cover works automatically if they're low on health, doesn't it? But I guess draw attacks... Is draw attacks just strictly better than cover? Because you should always be taking single target attacks if you have draw attacks, right? So you shouldn't need to have both of them, I guess. Just strictly better. Okay. Alright, he'll just be countering. It's fine. Invert. Works for me. You're managing 3 characters and you can be in one of maybe like 4 or 5 roles. Okay. So it's really not that many decisions to make, Matt. You just hold X, I see. And a full ice set. Whoops, I didn't actually trigger that there. Basically making him into mostly just a healer here. If I use defend, does that make him even better on his turn? Like, will he be that much tankier? But will still counterattack? And how does defend work in this game? If I activate it once and then his turn comes back up, but he's still in the defense pose, does he still count as taking less damage? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm excited to try it. I don't remember it well enough. The first hour or so of the game. It'll be fun to do a Final Fantasy game blind. Pretty much just that. What we've done so far of 14, if you can call it a Final Fantasy game. And FF15 will be blind for me. I played the first 2 hours of that with Andrea. Defend persists, okay. It doesn't in every game? Really? Kidding tanky as hell. It's kind of awesome. Yeah, cast Berserk on Cecil right now when he has no attack command. Perfect. Decoy. Let's see if I can do auto battle for folks here. guess she can be on attack. I just don't want numbnuts to be on attack. Rosa. She'll run out of arrows. So put her on prey. Do it Bannon style. 10-2 does something like that. Oh, Life's Anthem? Okay. Yeah, 10-2's battle system is so good. It's a game. Such a shame the game has so many problems from a story perspective. I still remember Andrea spent a bunch of SP to put 10-2 on the voting spreadsheet because she knew about. And she put it on her sub block. It was a 1 hour sub block, and she sat and watched it with me, and she's like, "This is awful." It almost couldn't be worse from a story perspective. What were they thinking? Oh yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I was still a rabid completionist when I played 10-2, and I think I restarted it 40 hours into the game because I missed a cutscene that was necessary for the secret ending. Kind of. It has that weird, like, Japanese guidance story where it's like you're making a sequel to something that doesn't really need one, and you're expanding the lore in a direction that makes it feel actively worse in a way. Oh, this hallway is familiar to me for some reason. I remember less and less of FF4 the further we get into it. New police. I only played like 3 hours of Fates at the beginning of it. We did a launch stream for it because it was a 3DS game. The plot gets stupid. It gets, yeah, it's marginally better. I think it might be the worst Final Fantasy to make a sequel to. Well, I don't know. 7... I thought 7 had a pretty unambiguous post-credits scene that's invalidated by Advent Children. And Advent Children didn't involve Sakaguchi at all, right? It was after he left. It was a Tetsuya Nomura thing. Weird face-petting stuff. I like this new auto battle solution. Cecil on defend with counter draw attacks and reach. I'm trying to think. Okay, so 4, I guess, has an opening for story after it. Doesn't have a lot of unanswered questions, but hey, Giant's Gloves. Big HP boost, maybe? Is it a rare drop? Strength ups. Yeah, should do that with him, right? 13-2 fixed everything you hated about the first one. Yeah, I do remember this room. I think I need to unequip Yang. Is 13-2 the one that has the timer? Or is that the third one? Is it the New Game Plus type game? Holy shit. Cecil's hitting for almost 5k damage now. Oh, I love it. finally landing on a good build, it looks like. Let's see, so... Four is a pretty final ending, but I guess there's some interesting characters to explore. I've heard the After Years is pretty good. 5... I don't think you would make a sequel to 5. All the questions are pretty answered. 6, I think, is a perfect ending. If they ever made a sequel to 6, I'd be very unhappy. 8 has lots of questions. I feel like if there's a game to make a sequel to, it's probably Final Fantasy 8. Still don't know what happened at the end of that game. I'm beating it like 7 times. Nine is a cool world and has some cool character drama afterward. Monster taming party mechanics. Basically like Pokemon. Oh, it's mechanically solid, I see. Disc 3, 4, yeah. Yeah, actually, Disc 3 of Disc 3 and 4 of Final Fantasy 8 kind of feels like Final Fantasy 8 2. I'd even say Disc 2, 3, 4 with how weird and Gaiden-y it feels. One of these is progress. The center one is probably progress, right? 2 normal party members and 1 Pokemon. Okay, that's a neat idea. I like monster taming in principle because it makes me excited about every new enemy I run into. I generally like mechanics in games that make me excited about unique entries in the database. So whether it's every time I run into a unique new enemy, unique new item, piece of gear, skill. There are a lot of games where there's no baseline level of excitement based on the game's reward calibration. You know, like, most of the loot in Final Fantasy IV is meh, who cares? Ice Sword, neat, I guess. But every piece of gear in Final Fantasy IX is always exciting, because maybe it has an ability that you haven't learned yet. And even if the ability is trash, just, you know, the cool element of getting everyone to learn all the abilities is pretty neat. Door is locked. Right. It's possible. I've had a couple games that were coming out at the wrong time. I think 8's one of those. So I'm excited to play 8 again, even if the draw system is kind of junk. How does this egg battle work? Does the enemy take... Does damage dealt to it in egg form carry over to non-egg form? Oh, it has monster fusion? That's super weird. Kane's gonna finish his jump here and heal the thing. Oh, I guess it doesn't absorb ice damage. That's cool. Perfect timing. Almost 100% at 13. It's a visible stop effect until it hatches, and I get no XP if I kill it while it's an egg. That looks like a progression hall. Let's go the other way. I am excited to get Kick. I'll decide who to give it to. Now, is it correct that if I don't have attack equipped, but I do have Kick equipped, then counter will counter Kick instead of counter attack? That seems kind of OP. I guess my whole Cecil build's not going to work if we ever get into a fight with an enemy that never does a single target physical attack. I don't remember if they really exist in this game. Yikes. Oof indeed. There are a lot of games, Matt, that I can't play or enjoy if I play them in my completionist mode. Like, I think Shadow Hearts, I would actively dislike that game if I wasn't streaming it, because it has a lot of really important missables, but because I'm streaming it, I don't really give a shit. I can enjoy it a lot more. I feel like you start getting really large damage numbers pretty quickly in this game. It might take a while to... Oh, if they miss, you don't counter. Interesting. It might take a while to get to 99.99 though. Right. Yeah, I still haven't found a good way to phrase it, but think about the side content in the game and how significant it is. Like, what amount of unit joy do you get per additional second of gameplay? And there are some games where the side content is so significant that it's basically more game, like Dark Souls DLC and Dark Souls optional bosses. Very significant amount of extra joy. Doesn't feel like a time sink. Or the endgame side quest in Chrono Trigger. Doesn't add a massive amount of time to the game, but all of them have cool story, unique bosses, cool gear. Chrono Trigger is like the king of endgame side quests to me. Yeah, I think that's right. Am I having fun? I think there's probably a word we could come up with, or a term to describe significant side content, but maybe that's a concise enough description. The last achievement in 13 is killing a 50-foot turtle over and over again for drops. Yikes. I guess Dark Souls 1 has... If you want to get the Platinum trophy, you're probably going to be murdering the same mage over and over to try to get one item that it drops. But the Platinum trophy is itself a different category of a completionist playthrough than just beat all bosses and do all DLC. Dismantles the symbols, you basically duplicate one of the hardest items to get in the game. Oh, it was like the W item glitch in FF7. Jeez. I would very much like to see developers like really consider the consequences of some of their decisions in games. I mean, like, the shampoo thing in Batten Kaitos almost feels like it's parody. Like, they're making fun of you for trying to 100% the game, and that's fine, but in games where they, like, realistically expect players to attempt to do something, I think devs really need to stop and go, is this a reasonable thing to ask of players? Just because they're going to do it doesn't make it a good reason to include, right? You can think of a certain portion of your player base as being so hardcore that they will consume any content you give to them, no matter how awful it is. MMO problem, right? accessible from another area. Oh, I think we're coming up on my man with the sexy leg sticking out from under his dress. If someone could link the song. I don't actually remember if that's here or not. We'll find out. It is! Rubicante. I don't think we actually fight him here, though. The Mad Doctor. How many Mad Doctors has Sakaguchi done? So there's Hojo, there's this guy. I guess Sid's not crazy in 6. There's one in 14, it's not Sakaguchi. Oh, really? What makes it so hard? Let's turn haste on everybody. Oh, I can't party cast haste in this game? Yikes. Don't tell me I just... Oh, the L button is confirmed? Oh, no! I don't have access to slow, do I? Or slow white magic. Shit. Okay. You should have haste march. Okay, cool. Thanks. Oh, but I didn't actually give him Bard's Song. Like, I equipped him with it, but didn't put it on his ability list. Good deeps. Glad you can skip that animation at least. Neat. Will. Holy shit. Okay, that happened. How did you win? What's the right solution? Enough of these games, traveler. It's like a robot man. Oh, what does reverse do? Is that like, zombie? Ow, Jesus. I can't do party-wide as soon. Shit. Oh, I can't even raise him. No kidding. Kill both at the same time. Haste March's hamster smash. So what's what will actually heal them? Damage will heal them? Is that how it works? Makes damage heal and healing damage, I guess. Oh, it didn't remove reverse, shit. Basically makes it impossible to resurrect anybody, as far as I can tell. just Deadzo. Everyone's Deadzo, actually. There goes Young. Oh, and he heals ice damage? Really? Or is he reversed, too? Oh, when he uses it again, it goes away. Interesting. This guy seems like a really cool series. Thanks. I don't think I can catch up here. I guess we'll see. If I get hit by reversal like that, can I damage my own party to heal or no? Good lord. If I could cast slow on him, I could get a hit by around here. Need a party-wide raise spell. Oh, she's Deadzo. Yeah, it doesn't even matter. Alright, well, I'm not sure how to approach this fight. I definitely need to not have Cecil dead right at the start, because I can't pick him up. He's basically impossible to raise. So, Okay. Would it make all sources of damage heal? Like if I cast Bio on the party, will that effectively give them regen? Okay. Looks like he uses the reversal gas a second time, so I can't get away with that all the way. Bummer. Alright. Let me give Yang Bard Song here so he can use Haste March, because that would be great. Not Hamster Smash, the other thing. Right. How many hit points do the two of them have? I guess I can use Libra on them and try to find out. It seems challenging to kill him at the same time since he keeps healing the Frankenstein. If they use the Calcabrina theme as like a "we're fucking with you, this isn't the real boss fight" song. Oh shit. Bard Song, Haste March. I think I would take an entire command in a Final Fantasy game just to cast Party-Wide Haste. Seems really good. Both of them have 5k in this fight. we can slow him next battle, that'll help a lot too, and get a haste march off. Yeah, exactly. Well, in a turn-based RPG, anything that gives you more turns, like that's the fundamental economy of the game, right? It'll make you better at literally everything else, which is why quick hit's so busted in FF10. So gotta go fast. There's another way to cast Party-Wide Haste later on. Okay, cool. Oh, I scanned him, but I didn't get his weaknesses. Weird. Oh well. Maybe those best bestiaries give me the information I need. Let me just preemptively get rid of this Ice Lance to get us in trouble for the next phase of the fight. Oh, when you cast Haste March, that's all he does after that. So he's just singing, right? I didn't know that. Good to know. Yeah, it's like Final Fantasy Tactics gameplay with some cool completionist incentives. Like how else to describe it? Very silly, super over-the-top endgame with like quintillions of damage dealt. Don't heal him. What an asshat. It's pretty good MP recovery when it lands. I just wish it was guaranteed. 4,000 levels. Alright, so we gotta kill him really fast, right? He's slowed, so we should have a bit of an advantage in doing that. Oh, nope, now he goes. Kaboom. You might live with Protect and Defend. Hey, look at that. Living the dream. And back row. Pot tune. Calcabrina. Oops. Alright, let's do our bestest here to not die. Enough of these games. Face of Fear is a spooky robot horse thing, turns out. It's unavoidable damage right now. I don't cast it twice in a row. Try to get my slow off as soon as possible here. Nice. So that was pretty OP. Okay, that does heal. Cool. I like that that changes the dynamic a bit. I need to do more damage to the party. Shit, it absorbs that too? No kidding. Rude. I think I've fought Yesmat, but it's been so long that I don't remember how that game even works. The last time I played 12 was the week it came out. So he absorbs blood and he absorbs ice. He absorbs wind as well? Yeah, I don't know how much people are gonna die. Only my one way to kill everybody. Need to cast reversal gas again, buddy. Please. Oh my god. It's damage based on the number of targets it hits. Is he immune to physical? That's really weird. I might have a chance since he's slowed. Oh right, I can't pick him up because he hasn't used reversal gas again. There it is. It'd be nice if Phoenix Downs were exempted from that. I might actually have a chance then. Or if they were actually hasted, I might have a chance as well. Oh shit. Right as I'm casting Kiraga. God damn it. What a dick move. Dude, I'm kind of stuck on this fight. Is there a cheese way to deal with this? Do I need to grind Ridi up until she has Ga magic? Because, like, her raw magic is not strong enough to top everybody off. Yeah, it's pretty rough. I also can't seem to damage him with Cane at all. Tells me I should be using Cane to just use items, I guess. It's very difficult. What level does Rydia get her first God magic at? Six. Check after this fight. I'm gonna Google, actually. FF4 DS. Just curious what the advice is of the internet. Mechanic was missing. Oh, it includes him? Oh. I didn't see it affect him, so I thought it was just my party. Okay, that makes sense. Maybe I can try to just burn him down really quick by having Rosa cast Kiraga on him. Turn Gaga magic. Oh, use 2 elixirs on him. Okay, so he's that fight in this game. Interesting. I don't think he did that in the... Was Reversal even in, like, Final Fantasy 4? Not even Final Fantasy 2. I wasn't sure how many hit points he had either, so... I didn't think to try that. It's a cool solution. Using Phoenix Downs on the Undead Evray, or... Is there a Final Fantasy game that doesn't have a boss that's cheesable by throwing a Phoenix Down or an elixir at it? I feel like that's tradition at this point. Let's do it. For realsies this time, no food. I don't think I've used a single elixir in this game so far, so I should have a few. I think. We'll see. Oops. Oh, I don't think it saved my haste march on Yang. No, it didn't. Oh well. Shit happens. Not me, oof. At this point, I kind of want to set Cecil on auto defend only. I really love, I keep saying it, but the sprites are really, really solid. The in-game models look a lot like the original SNES sprites. It's pretty impressive. Good job they did with it. Focus works with kick, doesn't it? See if we can protect Cecil from getting one-shot by explosion, self-destruct. Haven't tried it. So. I could see that. So if jump lands, we should have it. Oh, nice. No self-destruct. Earned it. Be like, that should give me some extra XP. Alright, so this should be a freebie. I should be able to throw 2 elixirs on him immediately before he can do an additional attack and just win. Fingers crossed that some other shenanigan doesn't occur in the meantime. Third time's a charm. I have 4 elixirs. After the second reverse gas, right? Just topping him off. Oh, I honestly thought he was about to do it too. Are items consumed when I select them? Or when they actually get used? Looks like they get reserved. Hey. That was fun. I remember him being Tank and Spank in FF2, the Super Nintendo. Nice. I must be underleveled. Oh, the dwarves! To the cannons! Thanks for putting a save point right behind the boss there. It's really, really kind. Oh, wait, is that a save point? No, it's not. Shit. My older game can potentially have cancerous mechanics, instinct is telling me to backtrack to the save really fast before we touch that thing, so I'm gonna do that real quick. Totally see there still being a thing beyond that. Still wouldn't call this game blind at this point. I remember enough of the events and fights that come up, but this particular section I don't really remember what happens next. Auto battle pack. I love that counter, it's awesome. I guess if I have auto battle on, I'm wondering if it's actually better to have the battle on active instead of wait. That sometimes matters in some Final Fantasy games, if you're able to queue their attacks quickly enough. Because then you can be queuing stuff when the game is locked up during like a counter. Maybe it doesn't matter. The enemy would be able to keep things up as well. At least there's a save point basically right outside that guy's room. It'd be super annoying otherwise. No, gross. This will be okay. Radio should do more damage now. Oh, nice crit. Is that, what status effect is she inflicting with her whip? Is it hold or stop? Yeah, I gave Yang Recall and Bard Song. I regret giving him, well, no. I didn't realize that Haste March locked up the turn, so I guess that is actually kind of bad. If it was just cast haste on everybody, then I'd like to devote a turn to that. Nice. I say. And then Kane gets no XP because he was in the air like a dummy. Might even be its own thing. I really like this Cecil build. It's very goofy. This is the first time I've actually been able to use the augments in a way that's like significant, it feels like. No, he does. I was kidding. It seems like something an NES game would do though, right? Did you guys see this old school RuneScape bug that Darkstar posted about in Discord? It's pretty crazy. I haven't played 2007 Scape, but I follow the Reddit because it pops up pretty often. They did a patch where they were trying to change the way pickpocketing works so that you get like a pouch in your inventory which automatically converts into money, in-game money. So they tested pouches really extensively, but they didn't change any of the other items that could possibly drop in the game, so they didn't run what are called regression tests, which is basically every time you ever test a project, you save all of your test cases from that project and they become regression tests. They're tests that you do in future releases to make sure that nothing was accidentally broken. And they're kind of controversial and expensive because it takes a lot of time to run them. Shitloads of them, and they almost never produce bugs. I think we had one, maybe two regression defects that we ever found. Usually if we've had regression test cases fail, it was because of environmental issues. Anyway, game turns on and there is an integer overflow so that if you found certain kinds of loot, you would just get 2 billion gold or whatever the max gold value was, which is a big deal in an MMO. Particularly a big deal in an MMO where you can use in-game money to buy playtime, and people actually sell in-game money for cash dollars, so brought the servers down and they were able to roll it back. I guess they only lost like 20 minutes of player time. Still pretty scary. The life of an MMO dev. Oh, right. The cannons are in a previous room anyway. Shit. Well, now I know. Yeah, 20-minute time loss isn't bad. Props to them. They had never done a rollback before. It could have been horrific if they didn't catch it as quickly as they did. Theme I want to impart is that making stuff is hard. Making software is hard. Making video games is really hard. Making an MMO is really, really hard. And testing is incredibly difficult and annoying and expensive. It's really easy with hindsight to say, oh, they should have regression tested that release and then they would have found that bug. But like I said, like, the number of man-hours you have to spend on regression testing for the number of like, defects that are that damaging that you would ever find is so low that I would roll my eyes if somebody asked me to regression test a release like that. Finding bugs is hard. An important testing theme is that it is impossible to know for certain that a product has no bugs. You can know which bugs it did have and you fixed, but you could keep testing until the end of time and continue to find increasingly low severity bugs. At some point you just have to make a call that, alright, this is enough, and move on. And people usually make that call when it comes to regression testing, like, immediately. Yeah, this is going to take, 3 weeks to do. And we're going to have to pay a team of 5 people every day to do it, so let's not bother. Yeah. The particularly frustrating thing, there's a hindsight element, and I think this is true both for gamers, armchair developers, and executives within a company, is that once a bug is found, it seems so obvious what you should have done to catch it. It's really frustrating. It's like, you only say that because it's like watching somebody solve a puzzle game, right? If you've already played the puzzle game before, it's almost impossible for you to imagine what it used to be like before you knew the solutions. So seeing them struggle, it can be infuriating. Why don't you get this? And it's the same with a bug like that happening. I had many times where we had to cover our ass in the testing department. Bigwig would come down and say, why didn't you catch this? This seems like an obvious test to run. Dude, fuck you. Lay off. It's one of those two where it's not saying that mistakes are always excusable, or that developers should get a free pass to do things wrong all the time, but I think it's knowing that things are difficult is very useful to building empathy for folks. Like, I know nobody in this community does it, but I've really seen people be nasty to game devs. Just get pissed at them and talk about them like they're not human beings that are trying to make a good product, I don't know if that's an internet thing. It definitely feels like it's a gaming community thing. Difference between negligence and being human. So I think it's correct to get really mad about, loot boxes. But even then, you have to pick the right audience to be pissed at. Like, it's not really productive to be mad at the developers of a game for microtransactions. Usually, it's the publishers or the executives that are making that decision, and very few of the folks that actually care about the game are happy about it. You can get out and you can crucify them, and you're crucifying the wrong person. That's what we were talking about with Kat and his grocery store job, where they would constantly get this in-store survey feedback about things that were executive decisions, like hiring, but the executives never got the heads up, like, hey, everyone's mad at you for not hiring enough people. They would pass all the complaints on to the lowest level employees, and they'd be the ones that would get their asses reamed for mistakes that had nothing to do with them. So I don't think it's an exclusively gamer phenomenon. It's still distressing to me to see the number of threads that pop up around issues like this one with old school RuneScape, where you have to scroll down 5 or 6 comments to find someone who's reasonable. The top 5 people are just bitching and moaning and complaining. There was a change in Fortnite recently, not that anyone in this chat particularly gives a shit about Fortnite, but just as a thought experiment. Fortnite has a particularly young audience and a massive audience, so you kind of have that inverse relationship where like the quality of a product is inversely there's an inverse relationship with the quality of its community. The more people playing it, the more shitty, squeaky wheels are going to be. There used to be a mechanic in Fortnite where you shoot a shotgun, for example, and then you have to wait a few seconds before you can shoot the same shotgun again. And people would get around it by simply carrying 2 shotguns. They would shoot you with a shotgun, they would switch to a second shotgun, and they'd shoot you in the face a second time. And it kind of felt like an exploit or a bug. It didn't really feel like that was the point. That's how it's supposed to work. So Epic, the guys who make Fortnite, fixed it, and they're like, hey, there's going to be a delay if you try to switch between shotguns. You can't just shoot someone in the head twice with them. And people got fucking pissed. They were going nuts on the subreddit, losing their minds about, you're reducing the skill cap, you're trying to make this for casuals. And it's like, just shut up, guys. Really? I think it's still the case on Reddit. What Reddit does that protects against that phenomenon, Plaster, is the upvote downvote system is a passive enough way to engage with the platform that the majority of people who I think are actually reasonable in most cases can see something reasonable and give it a quick thumbs up in the form of an upvote, which helps to push a lot of the junk to the bottom. It really isn't so much that most people are shitty, it's that shitty people are loud. And people that aren't shitty don't really engage if they like something or they're happy with it. Understanding a lot of things, occasionally find stuff that drives me crazy. All you have to do to fix that is comment on an if statement. Yeah. It's true. I can hear that this name. Oh, that bums me out, Plaster. I just had to hear that. Cutscene, probably with voice acting.
Too dangerous.
Young, I will take care of things in here. The rest of you, get out.
Are you mad?
It's too late, Young. Forgive me.
That's a different
Young!
animation.
Young! If you should see my wife again, tell her to live enough for us both. Don't be a fool. Open the door.
Young! Please, Young! Don't throw your life away!
Young! It has been an honor fighting with all of you. Open the door, Young!
Right, exactly, sir. It's a fair response. That was my response, too.
Young!
I wish they kept... I'm totally fine with this game's soundtrack for the most part, but it keeps the beginning of this, oh my god, a party member died and that's a bummer song. Can I cast exit now? Still can't. Yeah, I think I agree. They did a good job with it. Earned it, so to speak. I forget I'm supposed to leave the tower by walking out, or if I'm supposed to go back to the teleporter. Try it. Where are the augments associated with him? Is it in the room at the fairies later? The sylphs or whatever? Or can I get them now? To your point, though, this name is lame. part of the problem with, oh, I know that's just commenting on an if statement, is that in a sufficiently large organization, it becomes increasingly difficult to just do something that simple. I'll be in the Sylph Cave. Okay, thanks, Aki. Yeah, I think I've talked before about how when I worked at Chase, we would occasionally have tasks that we needed a developer to do that boiled down to pressing a button or changing a flag from yes to no. It's really, really simple stuff. And you would get on the call with them and you'd say, hey, we need you to change this from a yes to a no. And they'd say, okay, well, that's going to take me 40 hours of work. I'll have it ready for you in 2 weeks. And everyone was so accustomed to that, we'd all be like, okay. But even beyond just the absurdity of that, like, you would just have the fact that you would need to get together for a phone call. Like, everyone would have to get in a meeting and decide on the right approach, and probably have to make a sign-off document so that everyone could cover their ass. Whereas, it's part of the reason why, like, Minecraft today doesn't have a patch every Friday, like it did when it was just Notch making it. Code reviews, QA, but you can't just release it. No, this was with Agile and Scrum 6 gun. I mean, Waterfall's even more inefficient, but Minecraft and Candy Crush install itself on Windows 10 PCs. Prayer unanswered. Bummer. It gets increasingly difficult for individuals to communicate with the community too. Like, the other thing that always has stuck with me was when Guild Wars 2 was still in its infancy. The environmental director, Josh Foreman, really cool guy. He would engage with the community very directly. Any posts they made complaining about issues or missing features, he would get on there and say, yeah, I totally agree, or yeah, that sucks. And it was awesome to have a dev that was that engaged with everybody. But he got super burned by it, like burned to the point where HR had to assign someone to review and sign off on all of his posts. Not because he was doing anything wrong, but because he would say, yeah, I agree, that's a problem, and people would interpret that as this is a promise from ArenaNet that we will solve this issue, or that we as ArenaNet, as a large organization, agree with Josh Foreman as a human being that it's a problem, you know? Oh, that's awful, Spiky. Yuck. Everything a dev says is word of God. It's sad. It's like, I've completely seen communities talk about, oh, isn't it so awesome that the devs of this game are so interactive with the community, and then they'll spin around on a dime and be pissed off, you know. I totally get why some of these devs get the equivalent of like gag orders placed on them. As much as it's a bummer. We absolutely had projects at Chase that were just writing a letter to apologize to customers for a mistake. Oh god, I didn't know this could ever pop out a dragon. I did just save, so it should be okay. And we paralyzed it, nice. Because most of my damage is coming from Cecil using his counterattack, so maybe that's not super great. Since he can't counterattack if he's not getting attacked. Guess I can at least cast Bio on it. This dragon can drop the rare tails? Really? Interesting. Before you hate me. We'll see. Nice. There's just a chance for him to spawn out of the egg instead of the other thing. Oh wow, I've never seen a shiny Pokemon. I've probably played hundreds of hours of Pokemon games that have never encountered a shiny. Other than a, you know, plot demanded shiny. Ouch. Didn't know what it was and didn't catch it. Oh no. Oh, each colored tail can be used for the new onion equipment. Oh no. Oh, Pokeroos that just like generated Pokeroos? Is there like a natural chance for any Pokemon to have it before it starts spreading? All my Pokemon had it just because of the spreading. Half the chance of getting a shiny. Wow. That's insane. It's actually a positive thing, isn't it? If you want, it increases your XP or something. Try Blizzaga. Oh yeah, and shinies and Pokemon Go. Can you stop that, dude? Please? August spells in this game feel really strong. This guy's rough, man. He's got a lot of hit points. Yeah, cast slow on him here. I think I've been able to transfer all my Pokemon from every generation. The only gen I haven't played was Ruby Sapphire. It'd be blind for me when we do a Pokemon franchise for this. Hey, it died at last. We did not get the crazy tail. We did get a shitload of XP though. That's cool. Oh, I got a float. Nice. Yeah, I was gonna say, just sending an email to a set of customers at Chase to apologize for a mistake was probably a month-long project, because we had to have a bunch of meetings to get the wording exactly right, go back and forth, and get people to sign off. If people would not sign off because they didn't like the use of the word sorry or whatever, and then we'd have to test that the email went to the correct customers. Because that's actually something you have to test. If you've ever gotten an email that didn't apply to you and you're like, oh, that's weird, it's because they didn't run a 2-week-long project in a test environment where you set certain flags and make sure it goes to the customers with the right flags. Still doesn't respond. Okay. Oh, sweet. What kind of game is it? I haven't heard of it, sir. Fullmetal Furies. Still can't teleport out. You can just spoil this for me. Am I just supposed to exit the dungeon out the way I came in now? Big organizations sure are fun. Get out the front door. Oh, cool. I like Rogue Legacy. Should have to play more of it. I might actually play Dead Cells when it gets the full launch, fit it in on a Marstead choice day or two. Simplifying mythology. I don't like a lot of those words. I'm tempted to use the silver apples on Cecil, but he probably hits the... When does he hit the HP cap? I assume that of any character that's going to hit it, it's probably him. But I'm going to have him doing draw attacks. Although I guess it's also a pretty good argument to put it on literally any other character but him. I'll save one more time. I guess getting into all these fights is just going to get me a higher level. So later sequences will be easier. HP is a stat that only goes up based on augments you have equipped after 70. Ew. Yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Pick 2 characters and switch between them on the fly. Nice. Just wait for the egg to hatch. So I can't do ice damage to it otherwise. No paralysis, bummer. Oh, he does physically attack sometimes. Sweet, that should be enough to win then. Apples carry over to New Game Plus, but HP given by them does not. Okay. Sure. Probably Rosa, since Rosa being dead means I can't pick everybody else up. Rita being dead means I can't do DPS, which isn't a big deal. Alright, dump them on her then. That's reasonable. I can't just teleport out, which is a bummer. Fast talkers, the increases their casting speed. Probably. Yeah, that makes sense, because then I can get heal spells off before I die. You know, if I'm going to have her auto-casting Prey, I could probably have Redia auto-cast Bio or something. Just do that. That's pretty good. We got that from throwing augments on Tella, right? And that's worth doing now, probably. There's no additional benefit to waiting, I guess. That's such a cool combo. Ouch. Sweet. Rosa, I guess. Don't think I need any of these other ones. So yeah, must get 2 augments no matter what they are. Okay. That's cool that he leaves behind something neat. There's a character who only appears... I guess he's never actually in your party. Never mind. Disregard. I'm gonna ask about a character that appears on the Allied side. It's a pretty big spoiler for the game. And late stages, and I was wondering if you could give him augments, but I don't think he's ever actually in your party for that to be doable. Let's do auto battle bio on Radia, maybe? Now I forget, when you use spells as auto battle... Oh wait, that's not right. change the command so it's just bio. That's really weird. If I specify a spell, it'll try to cast it on all enemies, I assume. Auto battle. Well, since I have no way of knowing what the reward would be, and I already know about Fusoya, what augments do you get from giving him 2? And what do they do? Bless, Omnicasting, and Phoenix. Is Phoenix like one-time re-raise or something? What do they do? Augments that are in your key items list carry over between playthroughs. Spends all the character's MP to raise the party. Okay, that's really good. Especially for the final boss. I'm actually a little worried about the final boss. So I don't think I've ever beaten him. I've gotten to him in probably 10 or more playthroughs when I was a kid. I don't remember why I didn't finish him. Well, it's equipped on characters. There's a limit to the number of playthroughs, is that right? Oh shit. And you need to do exactly 3 to 100% it, right? Does the game do anything to acknowledge that you 100%ed it, or does it provide any challenges in New Game +1 or +2 that like take advantage of all of the crazy augments and stuff? Yeah. It's really, really hard to outpace it, Spiky. I think one of my favorite main series Final Fantasy final bosses. Hard call. This one's a little boring. I like X-Death. Probably Kefka. I think the only time I haven't Ultima cheesed Kefka in his tower was when we played it on stream. I've always done so much grinding in FF6 that I just one-shot everything constantly. Sephiroth's pretty dull, although his supernova attack is fucking rad. I don't really care for Griever Ultimecia. Necron is weird, although I think that's like a tradition thing. Necron's so weird. Sakuuchi brings back the OBT Dubs Final Fantasy boss. And then the 2 final bosses of 10, one of them is a victory lap, it's not real. The other one's pretty easy on anything other than a limited playthrough, like a no sphere grid playthrough. Do you like Shinryu? Yeah. We're talking about like 14 as an end of expansion boss. Actually, all of 14's... Well, let's see. I've never done Ultima in 14 the way it's intended to be fought. So I don't know if that fight is actually cool or not. It seems like it's cool, but no one ever gets to experience it, very sadly. Was Thordan technically the final boss of Heavensward? That was pretty dope. Basically fight Knights of the Round as the final boss of an expansion. Thordan wasn't launched though, was he? Shinryu is the launch final boss of Stormblood. He's great in 5 too. He's a good boss. This one's okay. He was 3.0. I think Yoshi P and team kind of have that shit on lock. Zodiac in 12. Running away so we don't get scorched to death. Was Zodiac in the base launch of 12? I thought Yesmat was the hardest one. The weird dragon with a bajillion HP. Shadow Lord in 11 was really cool. It's a neat ending to the story. Promethea. I feel like if we ever do 11 on stream, and I've thought about it, after hearing about that private server that Galactic Kodiak plays on, there's a possibility we could do that and try to use shenanigans to skip the more boring parts. But I feel like Chains of Promethea is the real... like, that's the game. If you play through the first 2 expansions on that one, you'll be done. This is why we can't cast Exit. Nicer want to play while the cat is away. Zodiac's more difficult than the base game. Thanks, Sid. Good looking out, bud. He's deadzo. He sacrifices to stop the tower's cannons. It's just a specific narrative requirement that allows a person to sacrifice themselves in a situation where that's what has to happen. No one else has to get hurt, though. Like, you have to really engineer oh yeah, the door has to be sealed, there has to be a person in here. You can leave his arena safe. And his hit points persist. I don't think I ever finished him, I don't remember. It was launch week, so... That's funny.
They're closing on us!
Come on! Enterprise! The engines can't take this! Cecil, take over!
Sid!
What are you doing? Once you reach the surface, I'll seal off that hole for good. With this!
No, not you too!
I like all the characters that do this in this game.
But well, someone's got to keep young company. You get yourselves back to battle. Talk to my boys there. But Sid!
You'll die!
And so young, too!
Back to back. Most of them aren't real, though, other than Tella.
Bombs away!
That's what bums me out.
Try stopping this! Golbez.
Edward,
I want
Young,
my time
Sid.
awaited.
Who am I forgetting? That in particular, like, there's no way, right? There's no way. Jumps from an airship holding a bomb.
Sid. One after another.
Rushing to die like fools.
Well, I mean,
We go to Baron.
chill out, Kane. Blaming the victim here, buddy. Some people's canes. It's Baron. I give 14 a lot of shit for not like letting its dead characters stay dead, but 4 is pretty bad about it too. I think it happens in 5. 6, kind of? Dude, I remember I had 6 as a kid, and was trying to recruit all the party members, and I could not find Shadow in the world of Ruin because I didn't know what you're supposed to do to save him, and it was before the internet, really. You couldn't just, like, Google it. I remember searching the world over and over and over, and going everywhere trying to find him. Oh yeah? It's been a really long time since I played Symphonia. That should be good for now. I do want to buy some cabins when I get a chance later. Am I topped off on health and mana? Close. I can think of a couple times where a story led me to believe that a character had been sacrificed, and then they weren't, and I was like, oh, that was the right choice. Usually it's like, really, game? Whirlwind Augment in the Loathsome Cavern? Okay, I'll go grab it, thanks. What does it do? It's like Barbaricha? What's it in there? Business. Oh, is there an augment then for each of the fiends? We got Tsunami. What was the one we got from Scarmillionae on the way out? Yeah, Lord of the Rings is fine. I think it fits in that story. Curse. Are there any other augments in the game world that I should be able to pick up now? Where do I get Sid's augments? Are those back in the underworld, or are they with his kids? Yeah. Sounds right. Yeah, it's a weird place for it to be. Why would anyone ever go back in there? Let's get back to the Dwarven Castle. Okay. Some Mind Flayer summons. Right, can't cross mountains. Forget about that. Is there anywhere else in the game world that is only accessible via Black Chocobo at this time? Or is it just this cave? Sorry. I don't think so. Where in the room is the augment? It's in the crystal chamber. Let me turn on active again in case it's faster. It might be. have to remember to turn it off before boss fights. My god, Rita has 264 MP now. Only mage in this dungeon had 90. I guess active doesn't stop it still stops the ATB from scrolling during attack animations and stuff. It's only when menuing. Such an interesting study. It persisted for so long in Final Fantasy games. And Chrono Trigger, active versus wait. It's like, do you want the computer to make its decisions instantly while you get punished for taking a couple seconds to look around? Gill Farmer. I think I do actually have 100k. Is that a good thing to spend it on? It's a junk augment, right? How many more characters do I have to dump junk augments on? Fusoya? I can't think of anybody else. Okay, cool. So Gill Farmer can be one, and maybe Tsunami can be the other one. Tsunami's kind of junk, right? Costs a bunch of MP. Sorry, what does Whirlwind do? Does it make it so you don't take damage like she does, or...? Strong wind element attack that makes enemies weak against fire. How much MP does Whirlwind cost? Tsunami was like 50 MP, wasn't it? Stab maxing. 60, yuck. Does Barbaricha technically do that? Do her attacks make you weak against fire? I guess it would make sense. Remember a point where you fight all four of them at once. See that being pretty strong against certain bosses. Like, you remember? Oh shit, I didn't realize that Cecil was petrified. Oops. Lisa's goes quite a bit faster. Chemist mixes that give elemental weaknesses. Yeah, right. It'll just be slower. I'd have her cast Blizzaga or something, but I can't. Some enemies absorb ice magic. Nobody absorbs bio. So far, I don't think I've gotten anything particularly great from 100%ing a map. Almost all been consumable items. Does that change later in the game, or do you get like rewards for uncovering all maps? Horrific if true. Next battle, I'm actually gonna get up one of the lights in this room is flickering. Gotta turn the dimmer down a little bit. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. 100% map completion bonus is an augment that lets you turn off random encounters. Ugh. I love how that's a 100% bonus in Final Fantasy IV for the DS, and it's just a native menu option in Bravely Default. Good lord. Oh yeah, I can see it being nice leading into New Game Plus, but I wish it were just a menu option. Like, I don't know if Square doesn't realize the gold that they landed on. Like, yeah, this is appropriate for Bravely Default. We shouldn't do this for all of our RPGs that we ever make for the rest of time. I guess you don't need it if you got enemies on the map, but once you've decided to do random encounters. I think so. You can check. I don't think there's an auto sort though. Yeah. Is the order upsetting? Oh, he gets teleport too, and shell. Yeah. Protect shell. Link. East. Blue. Sight, confuse, mini berserk. Just play the rest of it, right? Come on, game. You can't rearrange spells in the PC version? Just so many interesting choices. We were just talking about it being hard to do things, but like, this is already a completed game. So I'm less forgiving when it comes to ports. Ports still have their own challenges, like the disgusting tile art that was posted in Discard from the mobile version of Final Fantasy V. It's like, why just use the original maps? They looked great. There's no reason for that. Fairly bad port of the mobile port. It wasn't the mobile port a port of the DS version? Damn. Where is the club with the Gill Farmer augment? I forget. Is it somewhere inside the Troya Castle, or is it somewhere else? Is it in the castle? Maybe they just considered it was free money. It's an unmarked building. Oops. Members' rights. I haven't screwed up the Naming Way side quest yet, right? Just let me know if I'm getting... if I hit a missable step. It's their flagship. You shouldn't be willing to have its name tarnished, I agree. They spent all that money fixing Final Fantasy XIV because it was tarnishing the flagship franchise's reputation. I thought this was I remember doing this. I thought it was free in the Super Nintendo version. Oh, Rainbow Pudding drop? Oh, right. And that's like a 1 in 128 drop, right? Ugh, yuck. Blonde Princess is the pink one in the endgame dungeon, right? I remember farming that. Did it drop the weird tail you needed? For you support. Oh, there's that head nod. Some of these are so like one-to-one from the original game. I wonder if there must have been like a movement engine or something. It would surprise me if they did all of it manually, I guess I should say. Just took the mark off the scene. This was basically just for fun in the original, I guess. Okay, so we got at least one trash augment for Fusoya. What was Last Stand again? A buff if they're the only character alive. That might be my other junk one, right? Oh, that might be good on Rosa. I'll take recommendations. Doubles defense. Oh, yeah, no. Guess that could be good on Cecil. He's not going to spend a lot of time in critical health. MP plus 50%. That actually sounds good. That's a junk augment? I miss having kick. It made these random battles go by, especially against easy enemies. Didn't have to spend any resources. I should probably disable cane eating jump for now. It's just slow. Prayer stores MP in this one, you can buy ethers. Okay. Because you have to pay the opportunity cost of using an ether, but... You think Last Stand is better? Popeye missed real quick just because it's Rudy's hometown and maybe something different happens there. Does the amount of MP that Prayer restores scale? Because I haven't really run out of MP in a boss fight since I lost Tello. MP is only something you really run out of through progression. Oh, is it nice for tempted to give that to Redia. I feel like she's gonna dump MP much more quickly than Rosa. To think about it though. What makes Last Stand so good for super bosses? What else here? But wouldn't I mean, is doubling your defense really significant? It makes it likely that you wouldn't get killed by an attack that otherwise would kill you. I see. Yeah, I might just be underappreciating the value of defense doubling. Alright, I'm supposed to go talk to his kids, not Baron Castle. My bad. I think Baron Castle is basically empty now. We went in there and murdered everybody. Monster defense as it is from his equipment. Sure. I think I'm just gonna give that to Redia now. Alright, let me review. What's the thing that costs the most MP in white magic? Probably Raise. Maybe she gets full life eventually, right? Blizzaga already costs 30 MP. I'm gonna want to start spamming it. I guess I could have her cast Quake. $70. That's like re-raise. Oh, it's full life. Okay. Gotcha. Oops. Auto battle. Don't think terribly many enemies absorb earth magic, so probably get away with Quake. Drain can't be used in all. I guess that doesn't work on undead. They have the opposite response. Kane, I'm just gonna make him attack again. This is a pain in the ass. Kane's the first Dragoon in the Final Fantasy series, right? I don't think Dragoon was a subclass in FF3. Ricard's Dragoon, okay. Wait, I thought I was supposed to go to Sid's house to progress the story. Now I'm puzzled. They in the castle? Okay, I see. My boys, as in the guys who work for me in the castle. The two remaining people that aren't dead in Baron Castle. Pretty barren. Where should it be? Dang, you probably want to give that to, like, Rosa, right? Cecil will probably hit the max on his own. Oh, wow. Other Dragoons, that's weird. I forgot that you could cure them. I don't remember, like a super soft or something. Two have become stone of their own wall. To the east of the west tower entrance. Okay, thank you. Who's gonna sit on the throne, though? Oh, you talk to a soldier? So it's not shiny. It's interesting. So far, every augment in the game has been discovered on the... No, I'm sorry. The very first one that we got from the lady who helped Rosa, they handed to us, I think. Oops. Right, I missed the one in Kaipo. East of the west tower entrance. So it would be like somebody over here? Praise be. Handmaid's Tale flashbacks. I don't look like there's an NPC here yet, so maybe I can't get it yet. Okay. It would be like right here, just to the right of this door, though. Yeah, do I get something if I go talk to Yang's wife now? I feel like there was something like that in the original, or in the Super Nintendo version. Second level above the stairs. It'd be like a guy up there. Okay. Well, I got in touch with Tomato, by the way. Playing this game, maybe you remember Legends of Localization. And he said he would do an article on the 7 Mysteries thing, so keep an eye out for it. Remember, because his section on Fabul says that they localized Yang's wife kind of bizarrely. She had a very specific way of speaking in the original Japanese. It was kind of hard to localize. So in the Super Nintendo 1, they made her sound like she was Southern or something. So earlier, Sid was like, Lugae or Saga accent. Isn't the Okinawan accent translated as being like Hickish? Backwoods. Thanks, guys. don't remember if Sid told you to talk to them in the FF2 port, so I remember being stuck trying to find out what to do here. Maybe they did, and it was he just had the throwaway line, so he didn't catch it while he was falling. Cave of Eblan. Sure. This is a cool way to make the hovercraft relevant later in the game. I think there was another island. Maybe it was this like Phoenix offshoot down here. I forget, does something happen here? The Phoenix's eye? It's relevant later in the game, isn't it? It's just suspicious landmass. So I believe we already got everything from Eblan Castle. There's something I couldn't do. Facing off of airship themes. I wonder if he's alive and well somewhere. Speedboat. I really like the Skyrunner theme. Oh yeah. Isn't this where you need to go with all of the weird, like the rat's tail? A couple other weird items. I'm being really confused by this. You get the Ragnarok for like 5 minutes in that game too. I do not have any tails. The original game just was rat tail and pigtail. Interesting. Where do you get all of them? Pigtail is from the Princess Flan. I forget where the rat tail was. I think I only know about that because after I finally was able to use the internet, I used the dog pile search engine and looked up Final Fantasy II on Game FAQs trying to figure out what the hell is up with that weird cave with the guy that eats tails. Elon Cave into summons. Maybe I did find that one then. I don't think I found the pigtail ever. All the colored dragons. Okay. Now, were the dragons mostly in the original game and they just added tail drops to them in the DS version? There it is. I feel like this has been here the whole time and Eblan just builds their castle like, yeah, we should probably set up shop right next to that giant evil tower. Apples. I see. Good place to set up shop. Techno Hell Tower rising up from the dead mountains. Remember where we get Edge? It's Part of the game is rough around my memory. This game's shorter than I remember it being, I guess, now that I think about it. A 39 MP from Prey is pretty good. It's too bad counter doesn't trigger magic damage. Is there a magic counter in this? Quake's pretty good. Take it. Well, I was looking at the how long to beat, and I was thinking we were going to go a bit over. I wasn't sure why. I don't know if it was because it was the DS version and I had originally put it on with the SNES version. But I looked up like the chapters of the game, and it looked like we were actually a little bit ahead of schedule, which was surprising. Maybe there's later parts that go by more quickly. The early part is slower. Some bosses like Grimace. Okay, but like, I'll never get an augment that's magic counter. I guess we'll probably go a little over if I'd like to do the Sylph Cave and the Village of Summons. That's pretty significant side content. Especially the Village of Summons. Gotcha. I'll give him his ice sword back. Are they worth doing? You said wit's like the most powerful thing in the game, right? If you do enough math mini games. It's so goofy. Stats are based on the average of your 3 highest scores in each minigame. It's pretty cheap to summon too, isn't he? Might get my award for weirdest addition to a remake. Wit. You could have 99 int immediately. Wow. But getting that high of a score is kind of a pain in the ass, I assume. You can change that trivially enough. It's not that big of a deal, I guess. I would have an ice brew. It's actually weaker. Okay. The way we teach math in America. Well, even if I were really good at the minigame, it would still take a long time. I don't actually remember the minigame. I might give it a try. Again. So there's something about the construction of Mandarin Chinese and even Japanese that makes math more intuitive. Like I heard this somewhere. Oh, Gaia Hammer, that would have been nice a while ago. Once every 10 minutes with the stylus. Huh. Might give it a shot, we'll see. And it's really cheap to summon, right? I doubt anybody speedruns the DS version of the game, but if they did, I imagine that would be the local cheese. I can find my stylus. It's around here somewhere. There's no room exits. PC mobile versions don't have whip, so okay. The mobile version is a port of the DS version, but it cuts content? And then the PC version is a port of the mobile version that further cuts content and feature functionality? Really? Oh, what does the piercing augment do? Oh, ignore enemy armor or something? Oh right, another giant squirrels. Sorry. Ignore reflect. That's cool. Plus 10 strength seems like it's kind of a big deal with the way this game works. Might take me a while to replace that item in that slot. There must be a secret path to get up there. Shit. And for real fake doors over here. Is that accessible through a fake wall or elsewhere in the dungeon? Maybe I can look that up real quick. One sec. There are fake walls? Okay, thanks. I didn't want to hug all the walls. Only for it to be from another floor. Oh, I asked earlier, but I missed your answer. What do bless, omnicast, or bless and omnicasting do? You said Phoenix was spend all your MP to res the whole party, right? Regen except for MP. Is it a thing you turn on, or is it just a passive? That's pretty busted. I can see why that would make MP plus 50% less good. Oh, so you would use Omnicast with Rosa so she can cast Haste or Asuna on everyone. I see. That seems to be the correct choice, right? Because flare, like, well, what black magic spells are not targetable on all targets? Not many. Give it to Cecil. Waste. Use it, then it works. Oh, okay. Whole party? This all seems really good. That's okay. Even if I were to take Last Stand, I don't know who I'd give it to. I'm starting to have already an issue with space. Like, Cecil can't afford to take anything because he can't unequip item. He can't unequip. At least I don't want to unequip white magic from him. I guess at some point I could get items that would outpace his healing ability, but being able to cast Cura, Asuna, or Raise is really important, I think. pretty good. Get him, Cecil. Show that Rockman who's boss. It looks like that's percentage based. Is it like 10% of HP and MP? What's the chance for Prey to fail? Does it change as the game progresses? I feel like she hasn't failed it in a while. When I first got her, I wasn't using it much because it was failing constantly. Alright, need to find a fake wall. It was pretty garbage in Super Famicom because it was health only, right? Aim and Prey were both pretty shitty. Does Aim ever gain relevance in any playthrough or against any kind of like super boss? I don't see why it would. I feel like the encounter rate's higher when I'm hugging the wall. It can't be true. Hey, Zlo, how you doing? Good for auto battle. I need to find a shop that sells a shitload of cheap arrows. Hesitant to use her attack command. Don't want to run out of arrows. How's your week been treating you, so? Wait, really? No kidding. So, like, the fact that you get multiple copies of the ammo is just kind of a callback. They didn't want to change the loot itself. Shit, I mean, if that's the case, I guess I can test it with these lightning arrows. Aim doesn't make it do more damage, right? It just makes it, sorry. Have max accuracy. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that, that sounds awful. Assume damage is a critical hit. Oh, that's pretty good. No kidding. So it's just strictly better than attack for her, right? May as well swap it out and save myself a spot. She can use weapons other than a bow? I didn't think she could. I guess she can't use a staff, that's true. She's getting good XP in here, learning new magics. Alright, time off approval hype. I still have a very small amount of anxiety. Cat's new job starts next Monday, and he hasn't been able to get in touch with anyone at HR to confirm that PAX is going to be okay. I mean, sure it will be. It's going to be like a day one thing that he tells them, but I kind of just want that to be taken care of. Yeah, you weren't kidding. I didn't consume it. Oh, right on. That's actually kind of strong, I feel like. Does stone status when inflicted on enemies in this game simply cause them to die instantly? Oh shit. Oh. Oh wow. So you give her arrows with a good status effect, and then you give her kick. That's funny. Well, I might conceivably still give her kick. I guess I've got free space for her right now, and Cecil, I'm tapped out on augment space for him. I don't know what I would swap out. I feel like for my whole counter build to work right now, he needs to have draw attacks. I guess I could get rid of reach and put him in the front row, or just leave him in the back row and not have him deal as much damage. Does kick do less damage from the back row? Maybe that would be what would replace reach. There's an arrow kick. What are the other arrows in the game? I have the Medusa one, which can turn him to stone. That seems pretty good, because it's potentially combat ending. Okay. Step outside and use a tent. There's a lot of random battles. Hi Ben, are you being bad? You guys are probably able to hear Ben walking around now on the desk because of my scissor arm breaking when we were doing the cooking stream test. I forgot to use a tent. Whoops. Blind silence and stone. So stone is probably the best one. I'm guessing only a few enemies are immune to petrify. Yeah, that sounds great. Generally, what's the best status effect to pair up with kick? Death, maybe? I think like the most enemies are weak against it. I'd say with some certainty that this stone guy won't be weak against petrify. Whoa! Never mind. Well. Looks like we're giving that skill to Rosa. That'll give her something to do offensively. Baller. I guess then counter kick isn't happening, which is nice because it happens off of your own turn, but... You are men, not monsters. That's right, it's what's left of Eblan. Cross, huh? I have at least 20 of all status removal items. Just in case. So flavorful, but it's also really unnecessary to have so many different types. No more variable possibilities, right? 700 gil. That's robbery. Hey, more porn. Wonder why they renamed it to the Ninja Sutra. They made that big sex joke with Square Enix. And they still had the dwarf porn magazine. Thank you. I mean, I haven't had a chance to buy stuff in, like, forever. Inflict Berserk. Poison arrows. Right, appreciate that. Black robe. Downgrade. Huh. Oh, it halves the opposite elements. I didn't know that. Interesting. The Guy Hammer sells for a decent amount. I remember the Guy Hammer being pretty strong. Isn't that one that you, if Sid uses it, it casts Quake on all enemies? I use that quite a bit in one of my playthroughs. Luminous Robe. No, not the silencing arrows, thank you. Luminous Robe halves lightning. Yeah, I think you're right. I seem to remember that about the Gaia Hammer. No, I think you're right. I think I've used, tried to use rods in battle before, and it's only worked for the person that has it equipped. Oh, sure. Rubicante. Love that you can go to Eblan and no one in the game talks about it. And it's just a creepy, empty castle. Iltug. What Friends alum starred in films with Bruce Willis? Instead of auto battle. Weird. It's so bizarre that they screw up the PC versions of their games so badly. Yukapo's right, like, it is their flagship franchise, you think they'd take it seriously. Excited to get a new spear that has higher stats than the Blood Lance for Kane. Half of the in-game bosses from the final dungeon? It's so strange. It's like, why? Incredibly bizarre. Yeah. I think After Years will be on the voting spreadsheet at some point. I was considering adding it after FF4 won the vote. I might add it after FF8 wins. Try to always keep a Final Fantasy game on the spreadsheet. We should be able to do that for a really long time if they're not winning in fast succession. They didn't have 3D sprites, they didn't want to make them. Oh, that's funny. Right, because After Years is like the PSP graphics style. It kind of looks like a RPG Maker game. The thing I don't like about Counter is it's kind of slow. It takes a while for it to come out. I wish it just happened while everyone else's turns were happening. And I do like when you have optional bosses from other games, other than just Gilgamesh. They added some cool stuff to the GBA version of FF6, like there was a Jumbo Cactuar fight I think they added. Makes sense. After Years is like episodic, isn't it? see if one Final Fantasy game wins the vote a year. We can call it 2 per year. We've got 4, 8, 12, 13, 1, 2, 3, 11 eventually. 13-2 and 13-3. World of Final Fantasy. Doing some of the spin-offs. 10-2 probably should be on the list. The characters are an episode. One episode where everyone meets up in an extremely long final dungeon. Huh. Interesting. It's a neat way to approach it. Does not count as a physical attack. Shit. Sweet. Don't have to watch a Blizzaga animation. I'd like to do 1, 2, and 3 again. Those won't be blind, but they'll technically, basically be blind. I remember who the final boss is in FF1, which I think is the biggest spoiler of that game. I remember almost nothing in 2, other than the way the rotating guest party member worked. And then I never actually beat 3. I got to the final dungeon and died after like 2 hours of progress and lost the will to go on. I might do 3 on an emulator when we play it, just so that I can get save states in there. You load up the later episodes, use the saves you have from completed episodes to determine your levels. What's the? Isn't there a series of games called like Final Fantasy Warrior of Light that were like spiritual predecessors to Bravely Default? I want to say it's like a WiiWare game or something. I don't think I'm making that up. So many secret passages in this ninja cave. I'm gonna have to exit to get to the other side of the room, though. I don't see any other way out right now. I still need to play Last Story as well. Sakaguchi's last JRPG outing before Terra Battle kind of took up all of Mistwalker's time. You're playing it on the emulator, the PPSSPP. Hi, Ben. And also, hi, Marty. You still have your PSP? Wow. I like,
Hi,
I
Ben.
think PPSPP.
What's up, Marty? That's Ben.
Hi.
No, Cammy, that's Ben.
Hi. You.
Close enough. I was gonna say, I think it's my favorite, emulator. It's very, very clean. I still have a PSP. I haven't powered it on in a really long time. Yeah, same here. I think I last turned it on when Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops came out. It's a long time. Oh shit, so you can only do downloaded titles? Well, Zaga's pretty great when it's single target. I'm gonna switch her to go back to auto-casting Prey for a while. It's running low on MP for Rydia. could see the benefit of jailbreaking a PSP as well. Custom firmware, yeah. The encounter rate in this cave is really high. Ugh. Lord of the Lions is 600 megabytes. No kidding. Stop killing Cecil, you butts. I kind of wish that AoE damage was dealt based on the remaining enemies instead of it being binary between single target or AoE. Because it's kind of nice that if you're fighting 10 dudes that it's not like really weak, but still. Tempted to go back into Eblan really quick and rest. Let's see. They can. And there's no use for it, right? Who knows, even in the original version of the game. Maybe, what was it, the GBA and maybe the PS1 versions of this game let you recruit all the other characters for the endgame dungeon? Oh, angel arrows for those two. GBA and PSP. Confuse. I feel like that has a higher chance of actually landing than Stone, but Stone's more useful. It's an intended feature in the original. Oh, okay. Especially since none of them actually die. Except for Tella. Anything right there? Low. No, it's not what I want. Pretty expensive. It's like 7 tents. They made tents really cheap in this game. I think they were like 1,000 gil a piece in FF2. For the Super Nintendo, although I'm not. I played some game where tents were really expensive for no reason. One of the Final Fantasies. Ethers have historically been pretty expensive, and that discourages me from using them. Okay, so I don't know how to get over there, and it's possible that I can't. Is 800, 1,000. So it makes me really glad that they ended up just going with the save points fully healing you for free in Final Fantasy X. It just seems correct. It's unfortunate with auto battle and Rydia's current speed stat. She finishes casting that right like a second before it pops out of the egg. What's the game where you can use is it 9? You can use a tent on an enemy, and it like inflicts them with it's like bad breath basically. Pretty good for certain bosses. Pretty hungry. Hungry kitties. Hey, I got a Limia harp. That really gets you Kiragas early, huh? No kidding. There's probably another way into this room. That's my current guess. Snake bite is why it causes bad statuses. I didn't know that. So you would just use it on the boss before doing any damage to it over and over until you luck out and get the status effect thing? I remember reading it in the Play Online guide. Hey, lovely. Going swimming?
Yep.
Thanks. This is my wife, Andrea. Or Ben. He's very hungry and upset.
Science.
Little teepees. You alright with shrimp and seafood for dinner?
Yeah, that sounds good.
We got the little cocktail shrimp platter thing.
Awesome, with the cocktail sauce.
Mm-hmm.
I love the cocktail sauce.
Thought so. Hi, Ben. He hates you so much right now. He's looking at me like, why aren't you doing something about this? And Marty's just meowing pathetically. And constantly.
Yep. Those are cats.
Another little bird.
Did Ben sleep with us last night?
Yes. I have to say, Final Fantasy IV is not the same without 10 natty lights. Little fur babies. We had a waitress say that to us recently. Do you have any kids or fur babies? I like that.
Who's the little baby?
Is Ben the one who is the little
Who's
baby?
the little baby? He hates being held like
I know,
this.
right? Miserable kitty. Feels like progress. Hold on. There's just more people talking about it. I promise I super like this game. I just hate every part of it. I think it boils down to the random battles. The encounter rate's pretty high. There's no way to really turn it on or off. And even the auto battle takes a while. When's your thing?
5:45.
Yes.
We'll probably be heading out soon.
Get it, Ben. Tested streaming outside today.
Oh, how'd that go?
It worked. I broke my scissor arm, which is why the microphone is there.
Oh no.
But I ordered some new ones, so they should be here on Monday. I'm trying to decide whether we should use my audio workstation software to filter out background noise, or just say like, hey, we're outside.
Right.
You should enjoy the sounds of birds and wind and trees rustling and that sort of thing. Marty. Such a jerk. How was your day?
It's good.
What have you been working on? Sleeping?
Watching The Office.
Forgot you took the day off. I haven't seen you. Get a chance to use the air fryer yet?
No. Alright, I'm gonna go grab a towel.
Bye-bye. Have fun. Where are you planning on streaming, Aki? Make sure I have you in my auto host list. Oh, right. That's a drain effect. We don't want Kane attacking with the Blood Lance. I guess I might switch him back to the Ice Lance just for that. Oh, gross. That's not clear enough to kill them. And they just keep spamming Thundara. Ew. Very pretty. I'm gonna die to this random battle. I haven't saved for like an hour. Alright, we might be okay here. Oof. Undead, man. I'll tell you what. Now Kane is dead. I think this was a random battle. You might be right, though. Wonder why it puts the passives in your ability list when you're actually in combat. Just a random battle that was kicking my ass. Okay, so I have to get that one through the other path. There's a blood chest by the save point. Like, after the save point? Or... I'm actively pretty worried now about dying and losing an hour of progress. I can always teleport out of the dungeon. It's not that long of a walk back. Most of the time is just exploring all the nooks and crannies, I guess. Prey is currently, because of MP plus 50%, Prey is able to outpace the MP usage that Reedy is currently going through. Which is nice. Does you keep looping back in on itself? Gotcha. It's just a suspicious dead end, okay. Guess I got the map coverage. I think they made the ammo not consumable. I'm surprised they didn't change, like, the number of arrows that could drop or were available in chests. It's easy to assume otherwise because of the way it works. Get her. Nice. Oh, she's still not dead. Damn. She has more hit points than I recalled. There we go. Ruby ring. Wow, she drops like 3 different things. She dropped angel arrows, a ruby ring, and a Lamia harp. Ha ha ha. I like the way they do the hidden passages in this game. Like, you can kind of sort of see them at just the right angle. Pay really close attention. Generally, it seems though you have to still hug the wall. They got the perspective just right for that, I feel like. Oh no, Kane has been silenced. He won't be able to whine. Kane, stop missing. Why are you like this? Why is this the way you choose to be? Media does learn Meteor eventually, right? Like a super high level thing. I don't think she gets it from a quest. She can just cast it. Must be embarrassing for Tella. Distribution of damage against these things is interesting too. Like when you cast Blizzaga, it kills 4 of them, but not all 6 of them. Super looking forward to getting out of this dungeon. I guess it's because those two take less ice damage, or they resist it. Hey, Kane's not useless. Very good. Yeah, right. Oh, I'd be super bummed. I don't think that has happened to us on stream. The closest was, I think Hand of Fate. We lost like 90 minutes to something goofy. And I was able to make up for that by attempting it again, but on easy mode. But I haven't really lost a shitload of time due to something like that in a game. It certainly happened to me as a non-streaming gamer though, especially as a kid. It was really depressing. I hate losing progress like that. Things have gotten easier since I put the kind of goofy counter combo onto Cecil. My mages aren't randomly getting wrecked anymore. But yeah, I remember this game starting to get pretty hard, even on the Super Nintendo Easy Type version, around the Tower of Babel. I probably would have game overed a few more times in the tower if I hadn't have worked up the courage to run away. Courage to flee. Probably that room over there. You just pop in the room before I open this chest, just in case it's the bad one. He's already silenced. What a goof. Kane. Stop sucking so bad at life, dude. So maybe he'll be less angsty if he can't talk. I wonder if any games have ever tried to combat ludonarrative dissonance with that, like have silence as a status effect that persists out of combat, and then the character actually can't talk in cutscenes. Seems like way too much work for the payoff. Let's check this room, assuming it's a save point. Abundance of caution. Oh, I see the chest now. Cool. The narrative status effect, yeah. Mm-hmm. Could cause a lot of branching paths. Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, I don't think anybody bats an eye at the ludonarrative dissonance that's created by that, because it's like, it's unreasonable to ask a developer to do it. It's supposed to say something? Blood sword. Ben's over here, sitting directly on the laptop keyboard. Turn the cat camera and show you. Ben, what are you doing? What's this? Please don't send messages to chat. What are you doing? What are your life choices? What's brought you here today? It's because the laptop is warm? I guess I can understand that. Well, that's simple enough. I was expecting a nasty fight there. I don't know if I want to give the blood sword to Cecil. See if it's stronger. It is not. Yeah, Rogue Legacy does some really clever shit. I like that. Or like a colorblind character. What's up with this, like, grave? Can I do something in here ever? Hey, it's Edge and Rubicante. Let's just get into a fight over here while they're facing each other off. Come on, Medusa. Hey, good job, Medusa. I kind of wish it gave me some sort of indicator that the reason it died was because of Petrify. Try ether. Okay. Should I know you from somewhere? I see a sexy leg. There it is. That's my favorite part of that video. Japanese Battle of the 14 song. Don't kiss flame on him, you moron. Jeez, Edge. Real smart. Part is that, Aki? See both of the sexy legs, big. Oh, the Maga Sisters. Hone your skills. Hey, he's kind of a fiend with an honor code or something. We did just see like 2 people die in a row. Ben, see where he's sitting here. Why are you the way that you choose to be, Ben? Kira! It's her passive-aggressive way to acknowledge that Edge doesn't have enough HP for Kirago. Oh, I forgot Edge is like a scumbag. That was an awfully fast recovery. His portrait in the original FF2, FF4, oh, what did it make me think of? Thinking like a sportscaster? Oh, so that's, he looked like Leslie Nielsen, that was what it was. Surely you can't be serious. Was the kunai the thing that I could have bought in Eblan, or was it a better sword? So I'll worry about it later. 99%? Oh, fuck. Alright guys, let's play Spot the Missing Pixel. You thought he had a purple beard? That's funny. I had a couple games like that, like I only ever played Yoshi's Island on a green CRT. It was basically a black and white television, but it was only green. And Edge hits pretty hard. It's the benefit of having 2 weapons. Okay, I'll check the exit here. I'll be able to go back. Thank you. Five party members again. That was pretty awful. The game's very colorful and pretty too. I remember the first time I saw it with color, my mind was pretty blown. I don't remember why we had that green CRT, why I had to play the game on it instead of on a normal... Nope. Oh god. More Tower of Babel. Alright, spot the pixel. There is 1 pixel of the map that we apparently have not uncovered. If you can look on the screen, the bottom screen, and figure out where it is, I will be eternally grateful. In the meantime, try to just walk along all the edges, figure it out. It might be obscured by these chests over here, is my next guess. You were burned by Yoshi's cookie. How do you mean? I should just turn off auto battle against these things with so much ice damage in my retinue. Oh, and it was like a puzzle game. Ben, did you just close? What the fuck?
What is that?
You just typed in Discord. Hey, thanks for the follow, Dharma. Welcome. I had a couple rentals like that burned me pretty bad. Guess there's nothing about the Yoshi Cookie title that really broadcasts what kind of game it was. Something to do with this maybe? Was that there the whole time? Oh jeez. Well, that lets me get back to Eblan pretty easily. Still looking for the missing pixel here. Well, I'd pop back in Eblan and rest at the inn and see if I can buy this new sword. I hate these bats because they don't just do a regular attack. Their animation is about 1.5 times longer than an attack. Oh, it gave me the map completion? I didn't even see it. Thank you. I've been on autopilot in this dungeon for a little while now. Oh, I got 1%. Oh, dang. Shit, I didn't actually want to go there. Oh, is this some kind of cool new shortcut? No. Just you wait, Rubicante. Well, maybe they'd have new dialogue for Edge, I guess not. It is in fact what he currently has equipped. So what's the advantage of the boomerang? He can use it in the back row? Presumably? Oh, it's a thrown item. Okay, my bad. Not an equipable thing. Gotcha. Is throw very strong in this game? I don't remember. Alright, well I did the important thing, which was confirming that the weapon sold in the shop was in fact the one that Edge already had equipped. I really think about Edge having those two little wings coming off both of his shoulders. Most of the stuff worth throwing is one time only. Does the spoon just do 9,999 damage or something? What's the deal with the dark matter? Did you just like steal a dark matter from the final boss? think I've done that before. You stole the dark matter of the Big Bang. What does it do? Does it do anything? That's the only way to get dark matter in Final Fantasy IV, right? Oh, that's cool. Really ate space in your inventory and did nothing. That's funny. You couldn't even like throw it or anything, right? No function at all. Okay, we're at 99% map completion, which is just horrific. The number of random battles I'm going to get into trying to... Maybe they're all entrance exit related? Okay, I'll give it a try in a sec. Fortunately, I think this is only the second time this has happened. The other time was the very first map we ever saw. The Mist Cave map had a magic pixel somewhere that we couldn't see. And after that, it's been pretty straightforward. Oh. Well, yeah. Having fucked around enough with RPG Maker... Oh, I think I see what you're talking about. In the bottom right there? Yeah. I'll have a shortcut to get over there. Let's do that. See how it's not completed. One of those things that you like take for granted and you think is just sort of automatic. Enemy has no items. I recommend that everybody spend a couple hours digging around in RPG Maker, especially if you don't have any software development, testing, or just tech knowledge. It gives you a lot of perspective about how hard it is to make a game, even when it does most of the work for you. I played a shitload of RPG Maker when I was a kid. RPG Maker 95! It's a case of them like setting the teleport square, putting it too far ahead of the entrance. Yep, you called it. Good looking out. Thank you, Aki. I don't think I've missed any maps so far. I guess it'll be hell to figure it out if we get to the end and I don't have it yet. You can do anything JavaScript with MV, right? Stole the Lemmy great. You got your grasp of conditional statements from RPG Maker? Yeah. Just by doing like switches for like a treasure chest, for example. They finally added a simple self-switch that's associated with every entity in the game. Day and night cycle logic, that's cool. I wish they'd make a version that wasn't... Well, I guess it doesn't matter. It's not going to matter for 99% of users. 99% of users don't ever finish a game, but... a way to increase the total amount of assets that you can load to it. it's a large number, but it's not like arbitrarily large, the cap. Yeah, right. I think it gave me a pretty good intuition for it. It was the kind of thing where, like, there's a lot of times where you would code something up in RPG Maker, set up a quick map, boot up the game, and it doesn't work, and you're like, what the fuck? Kind of understand the disconnect between what you want the thing to do and what you literally told it to do. I forget you're with a ninja. You just wall hack all the time, Edge? Is that kind of your thing? Making little toys rather than building like actual playable games. That's cool. I'm probably gonna head back to the save point. I don't think I'm gonna find another one in 2 minutes. After this battle, we'll do that. I use RPG Maker for mapping D&D, since it's already a nice grid. And I use video game maps for Dungeons & Dragons that I import into Roll20. It's not just the grid, but it'll do some cool tile-based effects for you automatically. Like, if you build a grass field and then draw a path in it, it'll automatically make the grass along the path look nice. That's funny, Aki. How easy is it to rip the game files, though? I thought at least MV encrypted some of that so you couldn't just load it in. Check the D&D streams. Alright, let's head down to this story here. Load the maps directly. Interesting. It'd be a fun experiment to load a really complicated game like One Shot or Lisa that's doing something ridiculous in RPG Maker. Really going beyond what the engine is designed to do, just to see how they pulled it off. Thanks everybody for hanging out. It's been a treat as always. I'll let you know what's coming up for Subblock tomorrow and for next week. 1 sec here.